Well, I am sitting where Babuji Maharaj used to sit during Basant Panchami. Only thing he was sitting just this side of the pillar here. And we used to be here about 40 people. On the first Basant in 1966 I attended. 40 approximately, including Babuji Maharaj. I used to be seated about 6 feet in front, 4.5, 5 meters. And we had a small tent. You will see in the other place where we have Babuji's house painted. It was all bricks laid edge on in a whalebone or fishbone, whalebone pattern. And eminently uncomfortable to the bottom because it was cold from below. We had no carpets, just these cotton darris. And today we are sitting in this beautiful Babuji Memorial Hall, which can seat at least 3,000 people on Persian carpets, as you can see. So the contrast between then and now is between simplicity and opulence, between bearable discomfort and unbearable luxury. We never had chairs for Basant. No, even for Satsang we have chairs. I know old people of even 80 years old used to come and sit with their lathi, staff. There was one Mr. Prasad Srivastava from Lakhimpur Keri, very old man. He was something like, say, 14, 15 years my senior. And he used to grunt and, come with that lathi in typical UP style. And he was a very devoted person to Babuji Maharaj. And holding on to the lathi, he would just sit down, make himself comfortable. And understandably, though unknowingly, he often went to sleep during the meditation. Because when I'm talking of 64, 66, I was about, 39 years old. He must have been already past 55, 56, 57. And in those people who live in the villages of Uttar Pradesh and work hard, people age rather fast. They become old before that time. So we had, when I joined the mission, the average age of the Abhyasis was, let us say, 65. Today it is around, I think, 40, 42. And it's going down because we are getting a lot of young people into the mission all over the world. In fact, today you see more young people than old people. This is a reverse situation to the demographic situation of India, where the old are outbeating the young. And it is said that by 2020 or something, our population would have aged considerably. And how to and what to do with the old might become a social problem. Already in India, we have the phenomena, little by little, creeping in of old age homes. Some lush, opulent, 20,000 rupees a month. Some very simple, 3,000 rupees a month. But it has begun. The inroads of a Western system of not looking after the old but pretending to look after them by paying a lot of money so that you don't have to keep them at home and love them and look, It's very convenient. And they satisfy their conscience by saying, I am spending 20,000 rupees a month on my dad. Oh, so much. And people are happy. We are bringing to our old people, or rather the rest of the world seems to be doing it already. We are going to do it. We have just begun. We are satisfying ourselves by spending money. Like in temples, we offer in Tirupati 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs. money which you cannot keep at home because there's a possibility of an income tax raid. So they go and put it into the Lord's hundi, at least He will protect us. Same attitude we are getting to, play with the lives of our elders, spend a lot of money, put them away. And we salvage our conscience. God is great, parents are great. God is forgiving, parents will forgive. They have always loved us. Only difference is God will never die, parents will. Oh, but we will think of that when we come to that. Let us cross the bridge when we come to it. That sort of attitude, Few are the families where elder people are tolerated today. Very few where they are loved. I know half a dozen families. I'm happy to say mine is one. My son came back from the USA to look after me, and I'm happy. There was another family, one of my uncles, income tax officer. He had a mother who at the age of 74 lay wrapped up in a sari in a corner like a bundle of clothes for the washerman. I have never seen her sitting up or talking. She was always curled up. And the daughter-in-law of the house used to wake her sometime and feed her and, do whatever else had to be done. So this is the way Indian life is being changed, getting slowly changed, all because I would say the economic capacity has come into the hands of the children where they can conveniently put away their parents, old parents, without suffering much loss of, shall we say, spending power. You see, prosperity in India was never looked upon with favor. Because money is the root of all evil, says one of our proverbs. And we see it happening. This is no criticism, you see, perhaps historically it was bound to happen. According to the predictions of the Yugas, Kali Yuga is going to get worse and worse. Now at least children pay for their parents to go to old age homes. Maybe in future they will just throw them out and say, find your way, Dad. I don't know. We hope not, we pray not. But you see, when there is a change in the human heart, and as we discussed the other day, when children say, well, I didn't want to be born, I owe the old man nothing. See, what did he ever give me? And when this sort of things becomes, instead of an individual heart, but the heart of a whole nation, a whole society, and it becomes the in thing, the done thing, there is no more even that twinge of conscience, what have I done? See? It now becomes routine, and a friend will say, oh, I have my dad at home. He says, why don't you put the old man in an old age home? There's one, exit 14, which I'm told it's very good, and it's hardly 50 miles, you can go and see them whenever you want. And it's fairly cheap, $300 a month per person. His friends suggest. That is in one society. In Europe it is less. People are still tolerated, old people are still respected. And in India, of course, there has always been tolerance with love. People were loving their parents and also tolerating, because all said and done, the generation gaps are so big, culturally, traditionally, lifestyle-wise, that when you have 3 or 4 generations living together, it was not uncommon 50 years back to have the great-grandfather, the grandfather, the father and the son, married son with his children all living together. And each complaining about the other, each one having somebody to listen to because it was a big joint family. So there were complaints, there were minor quarrels, there were making ups, and there was also always somebody to listen to with compassion, with sympathy. So, the world went round and round as it's doing now. but much happier. Tolerance was not carried to such limits where it broke down and disrupted the family or divided the family. One more daughter-in-law, well, there are bound to be problems, It was an accepted fact right from the beginning. A daughter-in-law is a problem. Why? Because with the other daughter-in-law, she has to get on. Son-in-laws were no problem because they took the wives away. You see, I know in my grandfather's house when we went to Tanjavur for our holidays, often we were 60 people in one house. At night we were all sleeping side by side on a veranda like this. Literally side by side. One group telling stories there, another group exchanging days' experiences here, one old man snoring. And somebody was always opening a door to go to the bathroom right through the night, taking one of those old hurricane lamps. The door would go, And everybody knew who was going, because it was like a sort of a timetable. So life went on very well. Minor pinpricks. So you see, prosperity, as Babuji said, again we come to the topic of illat, killat, zillat. Little less than you need, little less health than you should call good health, and permanent critics. The last thing is the only thing we have always had in life, wherever you are in this world. Whether you are a Chinaman or a Jap or an American or a German or a Hindu, it didn't matter. We have had that in full. But then, when the other two are there, good health and more money than we need, we brush off criticism. And the richer you are, the more easily you can brush off criticism. You can buy criticism. You can buy the critic. And instead of a critic, he is now a flatterer. He knows the language of, journalism, for instance. So the fellow who was writing against you, hurling stones at you all your life, he is now putting bouquets. Stones have become bouquets. So everything in the modern world conspires to this mischief of change of character, apparent but not real, outwardly but not inside. It's what we could call in India in the old days a currency-less coin which had no value. Counterfeit. So today's culture is by and large counterfeit culture. When we say come in, our heart says, why the hell did this fellow come today? Honey, Walter has come. Oh, for heaven's sake, not today, Danny. Hush, he's already at the door. Would you like something to eat? You hope he won't. Thank you for coming when he leaves, and you don't mean it at all. You say, at last, for heaven's sake. No? So all this hypocrisy, nothing but hiding the truth under apparent courtesy, apparent honesty, apparent truth, apparent friendliness, apparent brotherhood. So you see how much prosperity has destroyed. It has destroyed cultures of the West, of the middle of Europe, everywhere, and now it is destroying our culture here. Today in India there is this phenomenon of well-paid sons not respecting their parents who are not so well off. A man who was earning, let us say, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 rupees, thanks to the IT invasion and the IITs and all these high-tech institutions, the son starts a job on, say, 6 lakhs a year. And thank heavens, it's still a low proportion. They just say, oh, my dad never, Yeah, of course he's my dad. No, I love him. Yeah. How can a son not love a father? But the way they talk, the way they, approach their father, the way they behave at home. Fortunately, mothers don't get this, because a mother is always a mother. She was not loved for what she had or what she knew. She was loved because she was a mother. Whether fathers are loved for the image they had in their sons' minds. That is why we talk of the God that failed. Inevitably, every father, loses some value progressively after the son becomes 13 or 14. Slowly, there is a degradation, or shall we say, devaluation of the father in economic terms. I don't mean in terms of money. I'm using an economic term, devaluation, and the way the father shrinks in the mind of his son. This is visible in today's society very prominently. What was your dad? Oh, and nothing worth mentioning. With a shrug of the shoulders, a little sense of shame because you're not able to say he was the President of India or the Prime Minister, which would be better, or at least the governor of the state. And if you probe and say, oh, he was doing some farming in Punjab, in Rajasthan, wherever you see. So we are afraid, the children of today are afraid to talk of their parents, of what they were. The father has always been a symbol of a guide. He was never a symbol of wisdom or, plenty. I heard once an American girl sitting on the tabletop with her legs swinging happily, telling Babuji and me who were sitting in front of her, oh, my dad's a good provider. And to show this, to demonstrate, she went into the fridge and pulled out a 4-gallon cask of ice cream. 4 gallons. So you see, today's parents are only providers. We have become something like the man who feeds his cows, But at least the cow, I hope, is grateful to be fed and brought up and saved from the butcher. So here again you see, mothers, God bless them, are safe. Because they were always humble, they were always loving, they were always sacrificing. Fathers make the mistake of expecting their sons to become what they were. No, why don't you go and become a bank clerk? I retired as a bank clerk. But Dad, I have come from the IIT. Or, I don't know, some engineering college, famous. Or IIM, Ahmedabad. And 3 weeks later, campus recruitment, he comes home and proudly announces, I've been selected for a job, 20 lakhs a month. No, mummy, only years. Only 1 year. And mummy, of course, is proud that her offspring has come up so well in life. But the father, he hears the knell of doom because he retired on 5,000 rupees a month. He says, son, if you want any money to make clothes, ask me, don't feel shy. No, Dad, you come with me to the best tailor. I'll make a suit for you. What will I do with a suit? I have retired. I am not going to use any suits anymore. No, you would have been better off, Dad, if you had used a suit all your life instead of going in that pajama and kurta to your interviews. This sort of thing is now absolutely in daily life. And then comes this very tragic phenomenon of elderly parents, 60, 70 years old, having to live alone. 5 prosperous sons living all over the world, one in Tokyo, one in Sydney, one in South Africa, in Brisbane, some place like, Johannesburg, one in New York, and one at the other side of the USA in LA. Faithfully, they all send $100 a month so that the parents get $500, which they never earned in his life. And every son thinks he's supporting his parents. Are your parents okay? Somebody asks, oh yeah, we send him money every month. And the parents are pining for love. They don't want bread and butter, they want love, you see. They want some sympathy when the wife is sick and the old father is not knowing what to do. He is bewildered. They give him a telephone next time when they come. Dad, why didn't you tell me? Yes, but son, I hesitate to ask. So they install a telephone. Next time they come, the father is sick because he caught a cold because he takes a cold bath every morning. Another son is angry. For heaven's sake, Dad, why the hell don't you ask me for a water boil? He says, no, I don't want to put you to unnecessary expense. This is not unnecessary expense. He installs a hot water boiler. And the only person who comes to visit is a daughter married off somewhere, Addis Ababa, another in Dubai. They come and weep over their parents. And that brings more consolation, happiness, and a momentary, bliss to the hearts of this old couple who are living alone, pining not for dollars, but for the modicum of love. Why I am saying all this is, Babuji always emphasized the need for love. He said, love is the only power in the world, in the cosmic world, in the divine world. Love opens all doors. There is no door which can be shut against love. And he says, even the master, love. Love the master until it is so much that he has to love you in return. But I said, Babuji, you said master loves everyone. That is when he told me master does not love everyone because he doesn't know everyone. It is like this lamp, Its light is everywhere. To the one who is not here but in the darkness behind, there is no light.